Hi everyone! Today I'm going to show you how I make my clouds. I have made maybe up to 100 already, but everybody is always asking me about my clouds. So here is an example of a cloud without decorations. It's made in single crochet and I use 100% cotton. You could use any kind of cotton, but this is with a size 4 hook, so it gives you about that size. Then you can add decorations to it like I did here. I added rainbow colors, and this one I added leaves and flowers. So let's get right into it. I have my yarn ready. This one I buy here in Belgium and is just a cotton 100%, which needs a 4 hook. Let's get to the end of it. And then also you'll need a little piece of black to make the eyes. I have the pattern on my website, so you can download it if you like. So we're going to start with the loop, and we're going to chain 7. And now we're going to do 3 rows of 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Doesn't really matter in which bars you work. And chain 1 and turn. And then we're going to immediately work into the first stitch there, and we're going to do another 6. 1, 3, trying to find that last one. There we go. And 6. Chain up 1 and turn, and 6 more. And now we're coming to the increase rows. We're going to increase from 6 to 8. We're going to add increase on either end. So chain 1. So into this first stitch we're going to put 2 single crochets, and then we're going to crochet 1, 2, 3, 4 to the end, and we're going to increase again. So now we'll have 8 stitches in this row. The next row we're going to increase to 10. So chain 1, turn, and again on either sides. 1, 2 in the first, then we're going to do the next 6 singles, and now we come to the increase at the end. 1 and 2, and now we're going to do another row, a next row of 10 single crochets. So that's 1, now we're going to increase to 11 stitches. So chain 1, turn. We're going to increase at the end. 1, that's 9, and now we're going to increase 2 in this last 2 in the last stitch, and now we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's going to be our first bump in the cloud. We're going to turn our work, and we're going to work in the second chain from the hook, and we're going to work all the way back down and make 15 stitches. So it's going to be 4 in the chains and 11 in the single crochets. Take your time. Here we go. Now we're back into the single crochets, and we're going to have 15 stitches at the end of this. So you can see we already have our first bump coming out. And we're going to turn. Now we're going to go up to, we're going to make 15 single crochets and a 3 chain. So that's 15 and then chain 3. So don't miss your last single crochet there. There's one left. And we're going to chain 3, which will allow us to make 17 single crochets in the next round. So we're going to turn our work, and then in the second chain from the hook, we're going to start with 2 singles and work the 15 singles. That gives us 17 on this row. And now we're on a roll. So there we are. We have 17. And now we're going to work 18 single crochets. So we'll do an increase at the end, and then we'll work 18 back. So I'll meet you there when I get there. So here I am at my final 2 stitches for my first 18 stitch row. So I'm going to do 1 more single, and then I'm going to increase, so 2 single crochets in that final gap. Then we're going to turn our work and work 18 single crochets all the way back down, and I'll meet you there. So we finished our 18 stitches, and we're gonna, I already did a chain 1, and we're gonna turn, and we're gonna make 17 stitches now. So that means we're gonna do a decrease at the end of this row. So we're gonna work 15 stitches, and then 16 stitches, and then decrease on the final 2. and this is going to be one row of 17 and then another row of 17. So this is the tallest bump in our cloud. Let's see. One more, and now we're gonna do a decrease. So we're gonna pull up a loop, pull up another loop, and yarn through. Now chain one, and we're gonna go all the way back down with 17 stitches. I'll meet you for the next row. So here I am at the end of my 17 single crochets, and we're gonna do 16 single crochets in the next one. So I already chained one, and now we're gonna do 14 stitches and decrease in the final two. And now we're at the final two, and we're going to decrease, yarn over, and pull through 3 loops. Then we're going to single crochet in the next row. We're going to make 15 stitches, and all our decreases are at the top at this point. So we're going to decrease 1, and then we have 14 stitches left, and we'll have a total of 15 stitches when we get to the end. I'll see you there for the next row. So I finished my row of 15 stitches. I've already chained one, and the next 2 rows are going to be 13 stitches. We're not going to do any decreases here. We're just going to work up to 13, stop. We're going to chain 1, turn, and go back down. So I'll just do this with you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13. So if you have 2 stitches left, you know you have 13. You're gonna chain 1, turn, and just go back down with 13 stitches to the end, and then I'll tell you what to do. So here we are at the end of our 2 13 stitch rows, and we're actually starting the next bump in our cloud. So we're going to go up, back up, and increase to 14 at the end. So we're going to do 12 stitches, and then increase on the 13th. So here we are, 12, and then 13, increase 1, and 14. And now we're going to go right back down, chain 1, and we're going to do 14 stitches all the way back down. I'll meet you there. So now I have my 2 rows of 14, and now I'm going to work 3 rows of 15. So basically I'm going to work all the way back to the top, increase, and then do 2 rows exactly the same. So we're going to work our way back up the 14 stitches and increase on the final stitch again. And that is going to bring us our next bump in the cloud. There we go. And that's our increase. Now we're up to 15 stitches. Chain 1, and now we're going to just do 2 more rows of 15 stitches. So I finished my third row of 15 stitches, and you should be back at the top of the bump at this point. Now we're going to decrease one time and make 14 single crochets. So we're going to decrease, chain up, decrease. So that's our first one, and then there's 13 more, and we're going to have 14 stitches on this one. That gives us 14 stitches, chain 1 and turn, and now we're going to work 13. So we're going to work all the way up back to the top and decrease at the top to make 13 stitches. And when you have just 2 single crochets left, you know it's time to decrease. And we have 13 stitches now. Now we're going to go from 13 to 10. In the pattern it says to chain up, but I don't do that anymore. I skip the first single crochet and I just do a slip stitch in the second single crochet and into the third. And this will leave us with 10 unworked single crochets, which we're going to work down to the end. And this is going to be a set of 3 rows of 10 single crochets. So be sure to count so that you don't mess up at this part, because it's difficult to see here where you've done the slip stitches how many there are. You can also just put a marker there if you want, but we're going to do 3 rows of 10 at this point, and I'll meet you at the end of those 3 rows. I've finished my 3 rows of 10 and we're almost at the end here. Now we're going to decrease on both sides again like we did in the beginning. We're going to go from 10 to 8 to 6 to 4. So at each end we're doing a decrease. So decrease, and then 6 singles. And when you have only 2 left, you know that you can decrease again. So we do a decrease here, and then we're gonna chain up and turn, and we're gonna do 6. So another decrease to start with and a decrease to end with. And that, so we have 6 stitches at the end of this one. So I see that I have 2 left. Make sure, it's hard to see sometimes, but if you look at the top, you can see the little V shapes if you're not sure, or just keep count. So here we are again, chain up, and you can see that we have our 6 V's. We're going to start with a decrease. We're going to single crochet 2, and there's our final decrease, and we're good. Now I'm going to cut my yarn and pull it through and make it tight. So there's our first piece, and I will show you in a next video how to put the 2 together and how to make the little face, the little eyes onto your cloud. Thanks for watching. Bye.